Hi, this is a Pecha-Kucha presentation. My name is Claude. This presentation is based on reading Hab's book, Copyright Clarity. This will help in dispelling some of the confusions related to the copyright law and the doctrine of fair use of 1976. Copyright, as defined in Reading Hab's book, is the owner's legal right to reproduce, display, transmit, perform, and modify a work, as well as the right to publicly perform a sound recording by digital transmission. One of the most basic aspects of the copyright law is the notion that a work is copyrighted at the moment of creation. Some of the misconceptions that are prevalent among educators are that they are totally oblivious about the doctrine of fair use. One can't even say that about the public in general, unknown to educators, unknown to the public, so it remains not used. To many educators, copyrighted materials are equivalent to saying or telling their students, hands off these copyrighted materials. Therefore, many of them are extra careful when subjected to using and dealing with copyrighted materials inside their classroom and in teaching their students. I, for one, had nurtured some copyright confusion that had been reinforced by popular knowledge coming from either colleagues, friends, or at times family members. I pretty much knew nothing about the fair use doctrine itself, and that's pretty much my main focus this time. I'll briefly illustrate some of my confusions that I had prior to reading Habs. I write a few poems every now and then and gleefully distribute them to people such as colleagues, friends, and other people, trusting everybody's good nature to not reproduce them. But to my stupefaction, issues about copyright come to corroborate my distorted notion about the corresponding law, as concerns were brought to my attention that I should speed up the process of copyrighting my work lest someone else claims ownership. So because of that, once brought to my attention, I rush into registering my work with the Office of Copyright for fear that someone else may claim ownership anytime. This will help showing how confused I was prior to that. I obviously did not know about the fact that my work was automatically copyrighted at the time of creation in any tangible format. Had I known that, or had I read the book prior, then I would have known better. As Reading Habs argues, the anxiety and fear that educators experience, as in my case, that prompted me to rush into registering my work without fully compiling them all. I had many more than I actually rushed to registering. In plus of all that, I nurtured the wrong understanding in my anticipation that the only way for anyone to use any part of my work, he or she would have to definitely contact me first. It is true though in some ways, but given the scenario on page 73, it says differently. Indeed, it was as if any use of any part of my work without my initial consent would be a clear violation of the copyright law, which, after reading Habs, revealed that it was not quite a copyright infringement, other than my anticipation and my misunderstanding that in fact it was. As Habs clearly states, you do not have to ask permission or alert the copyright holder when considering the use of materials that are protected by fair use. It's very interesting to witness the implications, as it is very good when you are well informed about the difference. While I was misinformed about the copyright law and the doctrine of fair use, at the same time I was unaware that there was a systematic distortion of the copyright law for the detriment of educators and people in general. Some people just do just that. Therefore, it's not by accident that people believe certain things about copyright. The popular belief about copyright law is in essence a well-orchestrated machination This is what happens when information is in the hands of powerful entities. They do as they please with them despite the fact of their responsibilities in society. I have come to realize that this is common practice coming from corporations whose business is to lucratively disseminate the wrong information despite the trust members of society put into them, and as much as society may rely on them for good resources. Renee Habs puts it this way: the music and media industries have created copyright education materials that represent their interest and in the process misinform teachers and students about the actual legal rights. As a result, that deliberate distortion of the copyright law has led to educators not investing or engaging their students in creative work, or having them engage in some transformative use of many educational materials that could have been very useful to them. I am glad that I read Renee Habs' book. She has helped to help me dispel a whole lot of confusions about the issue of copyright law and the Doctrine of Fair Use of 1976, of which I had no idea about before. The scenarios also help a great deal. From now on, Renee Habs' book will serve to help me make good use of educational resources, as I will clarify related issues to other colleagues and friends. Thus, my future works won't be subjected to any kind of confusion whatsoever. Thank you.